Doesn't look like she has all of the same vehicle.
It's got to be Pantos. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, it's got to be the Pantos at the bottom of her profile. There's 15 of them, which matches. Started at 13.2K and went up to 26.
I don't see those on her thing.
Maybe refresh the profile. So here's what happens.
Oh yeah, now I can see them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually, so look at the vehicles tab. You'll now see that there's going to be 15 Pantos at the very top. You can only see the model once you actually click the plate, but the way it works is when you look at someone's profile, sorry, I was talking to myself. The way it works is when you look at someone's profile that has new vehicles, it then generates into the vehicles tab.
So then you have to go and look again.
Correct. But the vehicle tab, like on the left side, on the left side of the MDT, the ones that most recently generated will be those.
Yep, I see them all here. Pantos.
So fucking many.
Probably for some kind of events or something. No, she used to do them
Yeah.
there, the legal races or whatever.
I need to figure out the cost of a tulip.
Need someone to dap me. I forgot the charger for a bottle of Oxy.
Don't do it again, Davenport. I've spoken to you.
Okay.
Honey, how was your onboarding?
Yeah, it was all right. Not too bad.
You have your weapon registry?
Yeah. Yeah, it's much better than how we used to do it, renaming everything.
Uh-huh. Now, honey, what do we do in the event where our heavy pistol is stolen?
Make a report, so.
Uh-huh.
And mark it on our weapon registry, so.
Yep. And
buy a new one, so.
Uh-huh. What do we do with the new one?
Registry, so.
A firm. That portion is actually written in our SOPs, by the way. It does outline exactly what we need to do.
I saw a thing, and I'm not trying to question things on my first date, but I saw an announcement, police standards and updates, and under the crime scene part, it basically says that we have to be like either in the area or watch a crime happen for a hot gun to be valid, or to charge for a hot gun. Unless I'm reading it wrong.
Before submitting a hot gun report, LEOs must clearly state that they observed a suspect or stolen vehicle fleeing the scene, pursued the suspect, heard gunshots coming from the area displayed on dispatch, or witnessed a crime in progress, include the dispatch call supporting evidence, and provide a probable cause statement that outlines the evidence, how it was discovered, and the suspect's intent. Highlighting key details as needed. I'm assuming this is for individuals who came upon the scene of the hot gun where casings were found.
Yeah.
So, for example, it's very common for a criminal use charge on the basis of like common boosting locations, right? So the expectation is that if someone did go and document that scene, if there are 71 calls, that should be in the report. If the casings on scene, or if there are casings on scene, that needs to be in the report and clarify that they were on this scene. They should also be clarifying that a 911 call did not come in close proximity to the situation, because they are required to contact us in the event where a gun is used. but it's not actually a in my opinion, it's not a you have to have every one of these things or you have to have observed every
No,
aspect
that's
of
what
it.
they want. That's what they
That's
want.
what.
They
That's
want you
what.
to
But
actually witness the crime happen so that you can collect the
that's my
pieces.
concern. Yeah.
Okay,
Otherwise, they're
so
not going to let it go through.
well, isn't
Which I,
isn't that
my
silly?
rebuttal to
How are
that
we gonna
was shift
deal with
3
the
won't have to
murder?
worry about hot guns. Well,
That's
apparently
what.
you got to see it happen.
That's what I'm.
You have to
That's,
see it or hear the gunshots and then respond like immediately. Is
if
basically
there's not a
what
suspect
I'm
to
getting from
chase,
this.
yeah.
Either you see the suspects doing it. It's either one of the other of these things. Either you see them doing it and you see them fleeing the scene, you hear the gunshots and you respond, and you have the dispatch call, or you just witness the whole thing happen. But it sounds like they don't want you you get a shots fired call, you get there, no one's there, no, you don't hear no gunshots, but you have the dispatch call. It sounds to me like they don't want you collecting those cases and pushing hot gun charges. At least that's what I'm gathering from
But
this.
it's
Holy
illegal.
fuck! It's going
Hey,
to
it
cause
is,
a
yeah.
whole separate issue of. Okay, let me explain why this doesn't work. Because all of those common spots that I just discussed, let's say boosting spots, right? If someone's like, well, I didn't witness it, so I might as well just not even collect the evidence. The next time they go there to collect the evidence, there's going to be
Yeah.
so much fucking evidence because no one went there beforehand.
I made that point myself.
And what'd they say? Deal with it?
Surely you can decipher which ones are what. Which we have no way of working that out.
Which brain dead fuck said that?
It was someone from shift 2. It was in a shift 3 meeting when it was announced.
Oh my god.
Because I said that there ain't no. Actually, no. They said, well, when you see something like that, you're gonna have to go to recall and just clean the evidence. And I said, I ain't doing that. I ain't no fucking janitor.
Oh my
If I'm
god.
going there, I'm
Yeah.
going to document the scene, and I'm going to write a report about it. Because otherwise, you got to go and clear the evidence up. Then you got to write a report for getting rid of the evidence and putting it in why there is evidence in the evidence locker, in the trash locker. So that doesn't make sense to me. If you're writing a report to put trash away, wouldn't you just write the report for someone that actually fired that gun there?
I'm so confused.
Yeah. I don't know what the issue for me is obviously like the whole kind of what Ricky said, especially like if we've got a murder, right? We've got a 911 call and 71s. We go over there. We didn't hear them. We didn't see any suspects. We didn't have nothing. They're saying that the casings on that scene should not be a hot gun, which is insane.
Okay, to be clear, I think in a murder, I like it's a little different. It's not sort of a run of the mill situation, right? Like in
Okay, even scale it down. Just scale it down to like assault with a deadly weapon or something like that. Just something simple. Someone gets shot out in the middle of nowhere. They're alive and well. You know, maybe it's attempt to murder. Maybe it's assault with a deadly. Even still, this is saying that if we're not there on scene and we don't hear it, we don't chase any suspect, then you can't use a hot gun. Can't do a hot gun for it.
That would also mean if you went to if there was a gang war going on, which this happens and it has happened, and you get on scene and all you see is downed people on the ground, there's no point collecting evidence. They won't get any charges whatsoever because you didn't see it happen. So you just get the medical and that's it, I guess. There's a lot of things that it's going to harm, I think. It'll do more harm than good.
Has anyone tried talking to get it reverted?
I think that's probably a good option.
Yeah, I was going to speak to, well, essentially it'd have to be Ruby or Frost because apparently they're the ones that decided on this. So they're the only current High Command members. Is those two. Well, actually, Brian's High Command too, isn't
It's a captain, isn't it?
I think all High Command was removed, wasn't they, from LSPD?
Well, Brian's BCSO, is he not?
Yeah, that's what I said, besides Brian.
Oh.
Stevie is also captain.
Oh, true.
Well, I'm a just a pippy all this. This isn't my problem, honey. I'm happy I brought this to you, and I apologize for any trouble I may have caused. I'm gonna go in there.
Good to see you back, Doc.
Thanks, Jack. You too, mate.
Oh, I'm not gonna, honey, come back,
Oh, wait.
come back.
Well,
Call him Davenport.
yes, sir. Yes, Davenport, sir. Sorry, sir.
No worries. It's all good.
Get fired.
I'm sorry for my husband's behavior.
He's always called me Jack.
I know, but aside from him, who calls you Jack? I've never heard anyone call you Jack.
Lucas.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's like we took a step forward with the arrest warrants, and then we took a step back with the halt gun.
Yeah, I don't agree with it all. Especially, they might work in shifts where there's like 20 or 30 officers on duty where they can be everywhere at once. But you look at the amount of
We're
times we don't
shafted.
respond to something like a security trap robbery or something because we simply don't have the units. And there's no point even trying to get eyes on it because the minute you go there and they know that you've only got 2 or 3 units on duty, they're just going to shoot. That's literally what happens. So those now you can't document them.
I'm more concerned at the fact that, and maybe people don't realize this, okay? But if I shoot my gun right here, a week from now, someone pulls out their flash, this casing is still going to be here.
Yeah, I brought up that argument about the typical boost spots like on North Rockford and all that sort of stuff. You're going to go there and there's going to be like 20 or 30 casings there at the end of the day. And if someone hasn't responded to like the previous 5 boosts in that spot, you're going to have so much evidence there. It's crazy, which I guess they're still going to get the criminal use charge, but it'll be tied to the wrong thing.
It'll be tied to the wrong thing, and we're going to have 20 fucking different casings.
Yeah, and people will be like, well, I never did that.
Yeah, take it up with high command. Holy fuck. That is backwards.
Yeah, I don't agree with it. I don't even think that would work when you've got a lot of officers on duty because you just simply sometimes you just can't respond to everything. And even boosts, like when boosts go off, the chances of you getting there before they leave, you probably get 25% of them that you'd actually get there before they leave. That you get eyes on the vehicle within that area. Unless you're nearby when it pops off or whatever.
I feel like this is something that like sounded good on paper, but like that's it.
Yeah.
Like in effect, it's I understand. I understand the sentiment of it, and like let's not make everything a hot gun, but it is 1000% just going to result in the 25% when we can get there early enough, then picking up those casings, tying it all into the same situation. In fact, no, we're going to weaken our case. And the reason we're going to weaken our case is we only heard one set of gunshots. There was only a single 71 call, and despite that, we had 19 casings on scene.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
You know what I don't understand is to me this basically sounds like they're forcing us to link another crime to criminal use as if criminal use is not a crime on its own, because at the end it says provide a probable cause statement that outlines the evidence, how it was discovered, and the suspect's intent. But I mean, if the suspect just discharges their firearm for no legal reason, that's criminal use. Their intent was, I don't know, firing their gun. Like, there could be no other crime attached.
Yeah.
That's
Criminal
what
use just
I
means
don't
that
understand.
Hmm.
I mean, you can even get criminal use when you got a registered firearm too, right? Because
If you
just
don't
Yeah.
report it,
start
yeah.
popping, if you just start popping shots in the middle of the street somewhere.
There's a common misconception. You can fire an illegal firearm and it not be criminal use. It's still a possession charge, but if you used it in self-defense, as wonky as that sounds, not criminal use.
Mm-hmm.
If it is in self-defense. However, like there's this common misconception where, well, the gun's illegal, therefore it's criminal use. That's not the case. Like, you can use it in self-defense, but it is an affirmative defense, which means at the end of the day, we can charge it no matter what, and it's up to the people to appeal it and argue in front of a judge why it was self-defense.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you're firing a
to prove
gun, exactly. It's not on us. I mean, yes, we can make judgment calls in the cells and like use our best judgment. Because not everything goes in front of a judge. Not everything needs to go in front of a judge. But like we can't. It's unreasonable to expect that in all of these situations, like we are going to have witnessed these things. I was under the assumption that like if we had this information, outline it, you know, do that stuff. But the reality is, it's just going to result in people being like, we weren't there in time. We didn't see anything. It's useless going there. Then another boost is going to happen there. Rinse, repeat, another one. And then on the fourth one, you know, the 25%, they're just going to gather everything from all of those scenarios where they did see someone shoot. But in their statement, they're going to say, well, only one individual opened fire towards a dog. And despite that, there's 4 different firearms casings on scene. I don't know. I do think it needs to be further discussed. On that note, though, I am going 42. I've been I've been enjoying the days where I've gotten on duty early in shift 3. It's it's been, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've always said shift 3 is feast or famine. It's everything at once or nothing at all for long periods of time. But like, I don't know.
It's been fairly consistent lately.
Yeah.
You get a little spell where you take a break and then it pops off again.
Pretty much. And the thing is, I'm not opposed to that break. I can occupy that time with either traffic stops or a bunch of things in between, but like,
Yeah,
I have decent rapport with a lot of the groups that are around, and so I have like, you know, friendly banter with these people. Just go and fuck with them sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Nova.
Yes?
Yesterday, someone had weed at the barrio, which is where I live.
What do you mean had weed there?
Okay, the dumpsters all around the parking lot, some of that, they were just filled with weed, and we saw this guy going into his house and then go into the dumpsters. Then into the house,
To be honest,
and go into the
I
dumpsters.
think everybody's doing it. Yeah.
Well,
Everyone probably does it because nobody. I don't think, like, apart from Davenport, I don't think anyone goes to drug calls.
yeah,
They
they
were
happen.
used
They
to.
happen very sporadically, but it was we 90% believe it's Yusuf Badawi because his vehicle is also parked in front of my house, and the property he was going in and out of was owned by him. We got the strain. I was only able to get 1 sample from each dumpster, so only 2 in total. But he was going 2 dumpsters and then into his house. We don't know if he was putting stuff in or taking stuff out. Some of them are completely empty. Some of them were filled to the brim. But he made multiple trips to these dumpsters. And we were just on the roof across from where I live because there was a 34 call there originally.
So couldn't you, if he's going in and out of dumpsters with weed and then going in his house, could you not articulate a raid?
So we never got to. Here's the thing: proving he was the one taking stuff or putting stuff into those dumpsters, very difficult. There's nothing in the individual's hands. And at the end of the day, they're just going to simply argue they were either throwing trash out or something to that extent. They didn't really look in. They just threw trash in and went about their day. You know, like it would be very fucking nice if we caught this dude with that strain of weed. I should need to get my statement.
Because
in,
if you catch that guy
yesterday.
with that strain of weed, and then you probably could.
Oh yeah, 100%, not a doubt in my mind. Even if it was just a baggie of the weed. Yeah. And
We just don't have the units to go to surveillance on things because these drug calls, they require half the PD to respond to it.
It's
half
true,
the time.
because the response that those people are gonna give us, listen, we get fucking a gazillion interference cars for a 24/7 robbery.
I mean, I understand like the big stuff that people do, but the little stuff has got to a point where you need the entire PD to respond to it, and that's I guess that's sort of the problem, because back in the day, you just used to have 1 or 2 people.
Listen, people complain about what I do with the Scout, but the entire reason the Scout existed is because originally didn't matter the call, 24/7 robbery doesn't matter. Besties had a gazillion fucking interference cars in every call. Every fucking call. And they were all-wheel drive cars bullying police cars out of the way. And that happened every single day. Didn't matter what the call was. Could have originally been over a traffic stop. Million interference cars. So when it is a 24/7 robbery and the stakes are so incredibly fucking low, or it's a traffic stop and suddenly there's 5 interference cars, it's like, okay, number one, it never had to escalate to this, but like, the tricky part is keeping cars out of the fucking equation is borderline impossible. We don't have the units to do it. We disable a car, they get into another one, we pursue, another vehicle is going to that car to repair it, so they go back to it.
If I'm being frank, I think they're complete. Everyone keeps saying about the standards of the PD and all this and all that, and yeah, the standard needs to change and stuff. But when you're waking up every day and you've got 5 people on duty, we need to bulk up first. That needs to be the number 1 priority. We need bodies.
Yeah.
No, half the problems come down to bodies.
Yeah, we definitely well, I mean, pending, LSPD stuff. I think we are going to start looking at interviewing people here in the near future, for shift 3 at least, and hopefully, we can take on some new capable people. But straight up, it's going to be difficult to keep people around when, as cadets, they're going to be limited to a borderline useless CVPI. Dealing with a bunch of overly juiced cars with, 5 identical ones that are going to show up, whether they're Tulips, Progresses, Sultans. Like, that's the unfortunate thing. How do we keep people?
No more resets.
How do we keep people when like the odds are so incredibly stacked against us, and it's just a common occurrence every day? When the bare minimum of crime has the same response as the upper end.
Yep.
It's always no man left behind, no vehicle left behind. Do everything we can. Tackle officers so that they can't tackle or tase. Do it again. Risk getting hit by a baton 10 times before going down while trying to put someone in a car. It's rough. I straight up, I don't know how we can keep people and convince people to stay when that's a daily occurrence. Again, it's not as bad when you're in the later end of shift 1 or all of shift 2 when there are units to be able to accommodate those things, but I think we are foolish if we think sort of increasing the standard on our end is going to make them change. It has been proven time and time again that they won't. Ever. change. Like
All we
there's a
do is
track
shoot
record.
ourselves in the foot and make things harder
I'm
for
mad.
ourselves and easier for the other side, in my opinion. Because we're held to a standard, and then our standard gets higher. Where we're limited on things that we can do when we respond, and they take that for, and run with it. So you basically give them an inch and they take a mile, and then you're worse off than you actually are now.
Yep. And then when they take that inch, they then very intentionally operate right outside of the boundary that they know exists for us every time without fail. We're stupid to think that they don't very intentionally operate right outside of our SOPs. Like with intent, to be very clear. This isn't coincidentally we're doing this. It's they know what the norm is. They know how we respond to every call. And they are always positioning themselves, again, regardless of the severity of the call, to operate right outside of that. Yeah, Matt, I agree.
I mean, a perfect example is going to be the ADMC shit. They got annoyed with something that happened in shift 1. They come and took it out on shift 3. I spoke to the individual from shift 1 that it started from, and I'm not blaming King for it. That the reason it started, he had every right to do what he did. I was there when that happened. I think you were too, Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that annoys me is the people that want to retaliate and get their lick back on the PD or whatever they want to call it. They picked on shift 3 when there's like 4 or 5 officers on duty. Put us in a car, try to explode us. So I'm like, okay, no worries. I'm going to speak to shift 1 and 2 and tell them to keep the same energy up with them as they showed us in shift 3. And then you end up with it blowing out of proportion. Someone gets fired, and you know what I mean? It just snowballs from there. We end up with all the repercussions from it, and now they're suing us for $55 million.
Yeah, well,
And still considering and still shooting officers.
I mean, it's not just like the amount of people that are. I just keep going back to the drug shop because it's people selling behind walls that you can't really see anything from, in building complexes where you've got to do like 3 days of constant drug sales to get a surveillance warrant for there and stuff. It's to even get the most basic of arrests, you have to do a mountain of paperwork to even get to that point.
I
Nova,
don't think it should be like that.
I'll put this into perspective. The only pursuit I have had in the past month that didn't involve a juiced Tulip, Progress, Sultan, Premier, Astrons haven't been used all that frequently as of recent, but like that sort of like category of vehicle has been today against the Crayons. That is it.
Yeah, they do that stuff on the regular early in shift 3.
Actually, I lied. Sin, Rayner, Josh Miller, Lucky, not Lucky Torkel, Ernest, Mayberry, that guy. Like that group of people, straight up, those are the only 2 groups right now that I can say consistently does not immediately resort to being at a 10 right off rip. Everyone else, without fail, doesn't matter the group, is always at a 10, regardless of the crime at hand. And so, unfortunately, it's hard to justify any leniency for any of those groups, with the exception of the Crayons and Sin, at least in my mind. What was just twatted? You caused this, Mr. Does it say dark or dork? Anyways, I have to go 42, but yeah, I've already said my bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just saying in regards to like the people hiding behind walls and stuff and all that, that the reason why it's that hard, Davenport, is because they wrote in the SOPs that the only time you can use a drone is when you've got warrant or command approval, I think. So you have to do investigative warrant.
If it is, I wish it was just command approval, and I think stuff like that should be command approval, and especially for shift 3. And that is why I don't even know whether that'd still stand now. I'm going to take it as it did because I was told by Peters when he was High Command that
Mhm.
to use my own judgment as to whether they are to be used or not. And I think I've been pretty fair with the times I use it.
Yeah.
But I think that's what it needs to be because these sort of things I don't know, these sort of things is the things that you need to respond to straight away and get onto it straight away. By the time you do all the paperwork necessary, you get a
You're done for
thing
that day.
area. You're done for that day, and you won't get a response until like 2 days later. And then by the time you actually get it to put surveillance up, they've moved on to the next spot.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like you have the command, stamp. It's difficult for an officer to just go and do it. Do you know what I mean? There's all loopholes that you have to go through.
Yeah, but I think I think it was just I had like a special permission for shift 3 where I didn't have to actually get like a warrant for it. If it was somewhere that I couldn't see it and somewhere we couldn't get officers to witness it, I was approved to use it.
Yeah, as a marshal, it was very much you documented a report that you were using the drone, but you didn't fly it over private properties. As long as it's public spaces, you're fine. It's like the one that I
Yeah.
showed you that was over that house. I did have a warrant for it.
Okay,
Yeah.
but does that mean when you say not over private property, can you fly over let's say the sidewalk to a property with enough height looking down to, let's say, get vision over a fence that normally we wouldn't be able
I've got
to?
clarity on all that stuff because when I was doing all the investigation for the 37 calls in Varmint Hills, I spoke to 2 different judges. One was Berwick and the other one was Falconer. And the only time that that is classed as a trespassing or private property is when that particular property is available in the real estate app.
But we can fly. Let's say one of the common boost spots was a property owned by Flippy, right? But the next door one has never been put for sale.
It's totally legal. You can even go and stand on the roof of that house and take photos if you want. Not a thing they can do about it. It's not trespassing. It's not nothing. We have authority to do that.
Well, the most thing is the roads, right? You can just use roads.
Yeah.
Public.
Yeah.
Or the canals behind Grove, for example. If do you know how they hide behind that little garage inside that parking lot? Like the canals behind Grove, even if it's giving sight into private property, I don't even know if that's private, but let's assume it is. As long as the drone is above not private property, we're good. Even if it gives us sight into
Well,
it.
that can't be private property because it's got public space, public parking on there.
Oh, it does now. You're right. That's a more recent thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's been there for a little while now, but yeah, it does definitely have it.
You're definitely right.
So even if I think they have a repair shop that operates out of there somewhere, that would still be classed as public because otherwise no one else could park their vehicles in that car park, and it's literally labeled as a public car park.
Yeah. I have to get going. So y'all have a good one.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right,
so let me
take it
get
easy.
Doc Masters and Opal Price. The SOPs around it are just fucking. You have to get high command to give you a drone.
I had this idea in Chris's chat. Evidence needs a time frame stat. So blood would be fresh, semi-dried, and dried. Casings and projectiles would be shiny, dirty, tarnished. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. I'm also of the mindset that like evidence should be deleted automatically after 24 hours. Like there doesn't exist a use case where it ever needs to exceed 24. Richard Dark, Simon Woods. Oh gosh. Warning issued and then I also sit there and question, like, listen, I don't think the Imager posting changes happen because of the amount of people on NoPixel using it. But I think we'd be silly to assume that places like Kappa didn't go down specifically because of the amount of images we uploaded as a collective. I don't mean any one single person. No, evidence is not. It used to, but not anymore. Hold on. 18594, 18594. I think the tricky thing is, like, we have the VR system, and not clarifying, but like utilizing it to document things is tricky. Because it doesn't show, for example, where a vehicle was. It just doesn't. But like, what we end up having to do is take every angle of photo, which, I mean, in a single situation, you could be looking at 50 photos. I mean, let's just take a look at, let me search for mass murder. Tank truck OIS. 65 photos. 18,500. Armored car turned OIS. 66 photos. Armored car OIS. 62 photos. Hydra 37 Alpha. 45 photos. Pizza people. 41 photos. Those are just the ones uploaded. 59 photos. 57. I'm glad I said 50 because, like, we're probably averaging mid to high 50s between all of these. 21. There aren't even scene photos. Except this. Possessions. Like, even the situation from the other day, Grapeseed. 38 photos. And it's literally just a bunch of photos that can probably be consolidated in VR to, like, easily less than 10. Because when you have this view, you no longer need, like, let's see if I can demonstrate. So when you're standing here, right, and you want to get this piece, you don't get these pieces or those pieces. Or you can stand up here and, like, try to get it, but, like, the bush is in the way. One photo here, which kind of gives you the perspective of where everything is, as opposed to one here and one here, and gotta get this angle because it's in this bush, one here. I mean, same thing with this stuff. Just photo right here. This easily consolidates, I'd argue, like 3-4 photos into a single one. I didn't realize these were up here, but like same shit. Anyways, I have to get going. Haven't been around in a bit. Hope you've been well. Don't forget you're an awesome gamer and amazing streamer, but most importantly, a good man. Be blessed. Remember, you deserve happiness. Oh, thank you, David. I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, I question like VGY, for example. How long until something happens because we've uploaded? I say we as a collective uploaded a gazillion things. And then we lose all the mugshots again. All prior evidence. I don't know. How big is my ShareX folder? I'll tell you. Now, for context, my ShareX has all of my old screenshots. I have folders. I have older folders than this, but this one specifically goes back to 2023. And properties. 3 gigs. But let's not forget, on my old ShareX, I have... Oh, gosh. I mean, I probably got the most use of ShareX at like... maybe 2020? I probably, if I had to guess, I'd say like 15 gigs of photos in total. That would be my assumption. In saying that, though, I do not upload anything of importance. As in, I will take a local photo, essentially, with no uploading, because uploading to a random host, no bueno. Bad idea for anything of importance. Who's live? We raid Sock? Absolutely. Raid Sock 22. Chat, I appreciate y'all. I be live tomorrow. The appliance repair person is coming tomorrow, but it's in the afternoon. But the time ranges, so I'll definitely have to end roughly around this time. Because they could be here as early as 10 a.m. Up until like, I don't, 3 or 4 p.m. or something. I don't know. Anyways, I didn't break anything. My washer, like, drain pump stopped working. So, anyways, go show Sock some love, chat. I'll be live tomorrow. I hope to see y'all there. Join the Discord. Follow me on Twitch. Waste your prime on me. You know, do that stuff. You get adorable elfin emotes if you do. Anyways, go show Sock some love. Peace out.